power, black power, peace, and love from Humam Abdulmalik, this great creator-given day for us to do creative things as we begin our day in this world of illusion and the quagmire, deceptive maze that was created by those who want to keep us amazed and keep us grazing in their grass. I will say something else, but I ain't gonna say that. How the people doing this morning? How my brothers and sisters doing this morning? On this third day of Kwanzaa. Ujima is the principle that we're dealing with today. Collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. Now that's communal living and being about the community, being about extended family, dealing with our culture, healing and everything. Oh, 1 second, please. I can't. I can, but I won't. I will, but not this morning. I don't know what I'm going to do. I liked this yesterday. Black Butterfly. So we'll go through Black Butterfly again. It's the theme song. I hope y'all enjoy it with me, because I really enjoy it. It's like the theme of it, the lyrics of it, the transformation of that butterfly to come into something unique through that metaphor. Let me see. I hope you can hear it. The concept by Denise Williams. I do implore you to get it. I'd like to again say the Creator has once again blessed me to get up and try to stimulate, give words of wisdom and motivation to our people in development of our nation, of a divine nation. And we have to do that. We must do that in order to survive. I mean, it's like every season, every year, we go through the same old thing, generation after generation, and I implore us to this year, as the spiritual warriors, the elders, the young youth, and everybody, to prepare to come together. Let's take this season as the seasons of healing on the principles of Kwanzaa, culturally, appropriately coming together in the essence of that, with the blessings of our ancestors and a divine decree. I want to say this too, because I've been thinking about this, right? I don't know, like, all of a sudden they said that in this era and time, or in this season, that is a season of enlightenment, or the season of Aquarius. We just came out of the Piscean age, and we in the beginning of Aquarius or something like that. And in this season, a lot of people, for some odd or divine reason, or supernatural reason, have say, everybody's conscious now. And in my case, I know, like my Kundalini or chakra centers, or I know something occurred in me. Feel like something came in me and just changed me. It was like, man, what is this? I had to question myself. Man, now I see a rainbow. God dog it, I don't know. Right there. in the light, but it's a reflection or whatever. But that's all right. But what I'm saying, this is not no fad or no trend. Being conscious or using that concept conscious, or your third eye open, or even dealing with Kwanzaa. You know, a lot of people I see, you know, talking about Kwanzaa now. Whatever. That's good. That shows growth and development. But these principles, like Kwanzaa or being conscious or anything, it's not no fad or no trend or none of that. This is real. This is a part of character growth and development, spiritual growth and development. You can't use these things for some ulterior motive. You can't do that. It's not for that. You go the wrong way with it. And with that, I want to begin my communication on the canvas of your mind as my words. I use my words to paint a picture that I'm trying to create. If it's not my words, it's what I believe. Like tonight, I'm going to share with you some writing of my son, and I was looking at it, and you can see his progress. You know, as a person trying to develop his concept of being creative, or just being able to put his words in a form of fashion to create a picture in your mind to share with you what he's feeling at that particular time. And don't forget, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Yesterday was Kuka Chakalia. The day before that was Ujima. We was talking about unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility today. And you see how they parallel into one and the same. The principles that come together powerfully for us to develop in that oneness. And this is the first 3 poems I'm gonna read is from my son, or by my son. This check out how they the growth or whatever, the words and everything like that. It's about our youth being creative. It's about our youth expressing themselves creatively. It's about us passing on that torch of understanding of the universe so that they can be effective in the universe. They can come from under that control of those with no soul, and not be affected by that social narcotics that's injected into their minds and their bodies from being children, from babies, from first coming in the world, and they smack them on the butt in the hospitals. That's part of the social narcotics of white supremacy. And that is a narcotics that's global, by a systematic, institutionalized, and pluralistic reality that the learned elders of Zion, being from the 13th family in the Vatican, and the Corporation of England, which is the United Snakes of Hypocrisy. Here's the first poem. It starts off like this. In this craziness, uncertainty, a butterfly, like what's on there, right? It's such a coincidence. A butterfly hanging upside down that will head towards the light. And sometimes the reflection in the mirror as we cut our hair. Footsteps echoing in the hallway during class. The sound of rain follow us ceaselessly, purely. What we feel is blinding and can take the shape of a sweet flower or the shape of a poisonous fruit. Rain again today. I want to link that day to now, sky to sky. In this craziness, uncertainty, we will be able to leave a trace of each of our emotions somewhere. In this craziness, you gave me life. In what bounds can we safeguard one emotion? In this crazy uncertainty, we will be able to leave a trace of ourselves somewhere. In this craziness, You gave me life. In what bounds can we safeguard each of ourselves? I don't know what he was thinking about at that time, but it was a transformation. It was a growth and development. And I mean, that's what I can see and pull from that or whatever. But here goes this next one. It's called change. Right now, I'm a boy. It's like a koi fish in a pond. With a flicker of a wand, it feels like a man being flipping and flopping in the pan. Most men like us in the pen. No, never me, not that road. As I wait in my abode, it hits my life a fist. It hits my life. It hit me like a fist. So I ask for a moment of bliss. Then I say, when grown, I'm going to stay within the flow. I will, my family, stay together like strands on a feather. But right now, I'm a boy like a koi fish in a pond. It only takes the flicker of a wand. Deep thoughts, man. Very deep thoughts. And now he did that in 2010, November the 10th. Growth and development. I think this one right here, I don't know if he was still in Africa. He went to Tanzania, East Africa. He didn't want to go, but I sent him there anyway, because his mother wanted to see him, and being respectful of that, I sent him. And what happened was she kept him there. She didn't send him back like she's supposed to. And I think this comes from that. But anyway, let me share it with you. And we heard the first two poems, and you see the growth or whatever, his concepts and what he's thinking. And born to write poet, peace and love. Namaste, Habarigani, Ujima. Have a great day and start this day off in greatness of the creativity of the Creator that gave you that breath of life. This is called lost. Lost are the fun days and wild nights. So it's been another 100 years to get it right. But those days are over, and you and I can't go back. So my best bet is to get away and sing my songs. When I think of a warm touch, I'm reminded of you. It's been so long since I truly loved that saying, that be saying, I got a lonely soul. I just think to myself, then tell them to tell me something. I don't know, that's why I'm pressing for more blessing, but all I receive are complexions. I guess he's just trying to teach me so that I may comprehend some lessons. All I learned is that it's easy to be loyal, but hard to find loyalty. Unless you are royalty, because money is power and power corrupts. Why do you think so many crime bosses go untouched? Well, I came into this world and changed all that. Vinci. I came, I saw, and I conquered. Because that's who I am, a king, a conqueror. So either fall in line or get out of the way, because I'm not slowing down for anyone. All I know is to remove forward, never looking backwards. I'm out here telling lies to some of the ones I trust and love. That's when I realize it's easy to lie to someone, but it's hard to trust them, hard to tell them, and that's why I cut them off. When I see them, I turn the other way, especially with all my haters. I want to put metal to their chest like a robot cop. A robot cop. These are the times, and there's more to come with these young niggas out here pressing rocks like you would to a teammate. But you can't trust everyone. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So now I'm building the walls to my castle to block out all the madness and to protect me from my enemies. But what they don't know is that I have powers of a dragon, spitting hot fire while they cower in fear. No psychiatrist can fix them. Now my rhymes knock them out on a time like power. It's time for me to rise the bar to a whole new level of slaughtering the devil. Becoming a leader, paving the way for all born stars so I just can sit around daydreaming about cars. I got to out and make examples by being a father to the bastards. Excuse my language, but that's not a cuss word. And I'm not doing it for love. I'm doing it for charity so that I may see my future in clarity. I once lost myself inside my ego, but I found myself in my personality. And though I wasn't born with an abnormality, I know because my share of calamities, but I changed. So tell my city I'll be returning as a savior, not a slaver. And if I die, I take my crown to the grave without a frown. Because I'm underground. Because I'm an underground king, even without the bling. That was deep. And I do believe he was in Tanzania, or he wrote that in Tanzania when he came back. But that was deep, and you can see the progress of the two previous poems by him to that. And that, like, ooh, man, that took me over and turned me over and upside down for him to put them words together like that and paint on the canvas of my mind, sharing what he felt inside. Man, that was deep. And that's my son. Very intelligent young man that I admire so very much. Yes, he's a giant in my life. The future next generation of leaders in this political climate that I don't feel too good with, not only for my son per se, but all my sons and daughters of my extended family in this day and time where they put forth all that effort to do what they're supposed to do in this deceptive quagmire maze that we find ourselves in, the illusion, the build-up illusion of the so-called reality that we live in this society, in this corporation, in this domain or paradigm, in this dimension, in this realm. To get ready to step into life, out there in life, and then you have to step into a situation that we don't know what's going to happen, because people are playing political poker with our lives and gambling with our lives. It's like disturbing. It's disturbing, really, truly, in this democratic society that we know that it's fraudulent laws, and we know that we went through black laws and Jim Crow already, and it seems like they trying to reinstitute that, the powers to be trying to reinstitute that, but it can't be. We can't allow, because we got to deal with the principles of Kwanzaa. We got to establish infrastructure through unification and organization. That's why we got to promote healing among ourselves. We got to promote that. We got to change the language that we use. We got to change our mindset so that our spirits will change, that we will base it on that energy, that synergy, the vibrations and the frequencies of the divine nature that's in us, each and every one of us, in the melanated concept of life. From the river Nile to the river of the Mississippi, through across the currents of the Atlantic, on the Indian Ocean, everywhere, worldwide, globally. The indigenous and the aborigine people of the world, we got to come together and unify. We got to develop and try to get a United States of Africa, in United Snakes of hypocrisy we got to develop. We got to make a connection with our brothers, even though I know a lot of us say, those Africans think they better than us. And a lot of us say them Africans ain't nothing. I was listening to a conversation yesterday when the brother was talking about the sisters of Africa and how they their body odor. And I say that's not true, man, because I've been to Tanzania twice. Our sisters over there are so beautiful, like our sisters here are so beautiful. We gotta just overcome the slave mentality here, and the what is that? Over there, they've been colonized. They got a colonized mentality. Both of them based on slavery, though. Both of them based on that social narcotics of white supremacy, because it's a worldwide epidemic, almost to pandemic proportions. It's genocidal in the essence of it. But the thing is, they so manipulative that they have us self-inflicting this drug, killing ourselves, and we got to stop that. We got to heal. This next thing, I'm going kind of all from my son and all that. I'm going to be in and out today, I think, because I got a couple of them that, I just want to share. And I can't find one that'll be a trilogy, but I'll get to that when I get to it. Again, don't forget Habari Ghani, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. That means we got to come together and work together on the foundation that we already developed, the foundation of unity, the foundation of self-determination. Now we pulling that down, adding another portion of this foundation that we're trying to create. It's seasonal now, but it's every day, 365 days a year and 366 every leap year. It's continuous. It's a lifetime process, because we got to change our thinking, our hearts, and come together and never be apart again. We got to stop killing each other. We got to stop robbing and stealing from each other. We got to overcome all those vices. Stop taking drugs. Stop smoking cigarettes and drinking. Your body is a temple. We got to purify it. We can do it. We've done it before. Before we came in contact with these people. Just ask our ancestors, and they'll let you know that we can do it. This is called Fingers and Sticks. I did this because I used to go to this venue, and two brothers used to be, well, you're here. Just keep looking at the canvas of your mind. Just look, subconsciously and consciously, as I paint this picture. Fingers and sticks, or sticks and fingers. The blend is still the same, harmonious. Sound coming from creative musicians, geniuses, who take you inside and outside the space we're in. They can give it to you like you want it, funky, jazzy, and real mellow. They are breaking it down with the melodious sound, make you want to be and do the limbo rock, as they transcend what we know and take us somewhere else, where we can meditate as they elevate our thoughts with rhythm from the oasis of their minds. As we journey through the Sahara of our souls, becoming one with sound and rhythm. Oh yeah, kick it, sticks, through our first form of communication. I hear you, fingers, touching the keys that unlock the mysteries of the chords. A blessing, a mercy from our Lord. Hey, Sir Fingers. Hey, Mr. Sticks. I just want to say thank you both for sharing your time and creative talents, allowing us to journey with you on music caravans, which will always be remembered by us, wherever we go on this planet. Because of your talents, I hear peace and contentment. There's no time and space for resentment. All the space in my being is filled with the universal harmony that becomes a balm to me. You see, this keeps me mentally free and balanced, so I can see with understanding, and not just with the physical eye. As I ride your notes into the void and back, I be feeling all and everything that your sound brings. The story that your music tells is of the happiness and sadness. Brings gladness to my soul. As the truth unfolds, as your caravan of sound abounds in areas profound, where mystics and music masters are found. So continue to get down, finger and sticks, or sticks and fingers, whatever. It's a universal mix of musical bliss, that I'll assist that you keep on playing. Because I will be praying for you both every day just to hear you play, to listen to what your music has to say. Peace and blessings. in every way. Amen. Man, I'm telling you, music is a universal force. I want to give, in saying that, I met a sister in the islands the other day, and she blessed me with a concert, a free concert, and she reminds me of Ayana Gregory a little bit. I think if them two will come together just for one concert, it will blow your mind. I'm telling you, this sister, Starfruit, is so prolifically, universally blissful in her chords. Her voice is angelic, is ancestral, is universal. She is a musical goddess that touched my heart and my soul, and I just want to give her a shout out. I can this stay before her for eternity and close my eyes and listen with my heart. Man, prolific sister. And that's what music does. It opens your soul and your spirit up and take you back to your ancestors, the roads and the pathways that you as a pathfinder trying to develop and cling on to their understanding, so we can have an understanding and an overstanding and develop ourselves, our character and our personalities. And music is one of those tools that we use, just like the drum beat, communications, rhythms and sounds, like the last poets say, rhythms and sounds, leaps and bounds, for information through communication. So since I'm using that language, I want to go into this one. And it's all about us coming together and the mystery of each other and unfolding like that black butterfly. And this is about communication management units. If you don't know, it's about the incarcerations of some brothers that have been manipulated or hoodwinked, or it'd be like, false charges trumped up on them. Even though it might be Muslims or whatever, or Islamic stuff like that. But this is what this is. I know a brother that came out of there, and he told me, his experience in there. It's called communication management. And matter of fact, he asked me to write this about that. And this was my form of trying to convey on the canvas of your mind so you can see clearly what I'm trying to say. CMU, who, what, where? Is there a clue to what you do and why? Who are your victims of this open lie? Broken families is a token of whose appreciation. 99.9% of the time is where the Muslims are sent after being entrapped or tricked by those who want to keep the boogeyman alive, as they strive to instill fear in the public domain so they can maintain their hold on those who they are trying to drive insane in the CMU. I ask the public, and even though it's not you or me, what are we going to do when we are free no more? Because those in charge of the CMU says you got to come through the place because of the people you once knew. CMU, who are you a part of? The prison industrial complex or military industrial complex? Who writes your checks? Some secret branch of the BOP? Because y'all are really taking this thing out of context, giving people labels of international terrorists who haven't even made Hajj. How can you give them such a charge? It's all a mirage as you put the public in a hypnotic nod. As you continue to keep family members apart, it's all been a test from the start. As you unfold your plan like you're a wizard, we are caught up in the same type of blizzard of new laws, in which Homeland Security got caught with their drawers down. Because CMU, you forgot about the Constitution, and that's where the solution of this criminal institutional lies. You see, court where the truth can't and will not be brought, but facts will be conveyed, and there CMU, you will be slayed. Yeah, sometimes we gotta rely on the fraudulent laws to get some law. And sometimes, it's like truth and falsehood strangely mixed, like my Moorish brothers would say. And these fraudulent laws are just that. And that unit there is for, okay, I'll give you this for instance. The brother that I was talking about that came out of there, he was locked up, right? He'd been locked up for like 28 years, 30 years or whatever. Served his time or whatever. But they sent him there because he stood up and like bucked on something that he thought he was justified or right for. He ain't do nothing, nothing, violent or anything disturbing. He just stood up as a man. They took him from the population, which was Petersburg at that time, and sent him somewhere else. Because in the federal institution, they'll send you around the whole United States on a bus, plane, or wherever. Just let you ride you and stuff. Never get you stable. But he went to this unit. And like I said, he was already in. Ain't been nowhere. Was in when all the 911, all that stuff occurred and all that. They labeled this brother a terrorist. They labeled him a terrorist and put him in that CMU unit. And he was in there for some time, and he seen everything, what goes on, and then how they, they set people up, give them false charges, or they not knowing, listening to some agent provocateurs again, infiltrate the Islamic masjid or institutions or whatever, and young or whatever, and somebody might offer them some money, and they take it, then tell them, like Stevie Wonder said, take this money, take this cross street from me. Okay. Hey, then the police come, the FBI come, the NSA come and get you, and you don't know what you done did, and then you stuck in there. And then all these laws that the Homeland Security got, they can snatch you up and don't even charge you. Nobody know where you're at. So we got to be careful, especially in this political climate. Look at the weather. We in wintertime, and look at the weather. I mean, we went through the Indian summer. Do we know about the HOP, their manipulation of the weather through HOP? So, and all that. I mean, like air conditioner, right? Like air conditioner. Listen to the word. Air conditioning. They condition the air to be cool, right? Or hot or whatever. It's like how they condition us mentally. They program us. If we don't become aware and come out of that program, we're going to be like robots. Because we become addicted to their social narcotics through the institutionalized racism that we go through, the process of putting our children in their schools and being taught nothing about our culture. Oh, man, should I read that one? I'm going to go to these two first. It's a two-piece, but I was looking for the third piece or to put this all together, but I can't find it. I'll go through that, then I'll go through that. This is, what is it called? It's called You Are My Medina. And then this is two parts. One part is from, like, say, my third wife. Okay, I'll just go into it like that. I want to get another rhythm going. Excuse me 1 second, please. Cause I've been like listening to this since yesterday, and so I want to change it for a second, and put something else on. And then I'll go into this poem again today to re-emphasize our principle today that we're trying to instill into our life. We're trying to come off that synthetic drug, man-made drug of this white supremacy and come to a genetic natural drug, which is part of our culture. And that's this principle today, and it's 7 of them that we want to instill in our life and develop a counter institution to institutionalize racism. We want to have and develop institutionalized culture. I see another person have joined us, Sister Pamela, Habari Ghani, Ujima, collective work and responsibilities. Coming together to develop our nation once again, to rise up, to build this infrastructure within this structure as a people that is tired. We're tired of taking the drugs of social narcotics. We're tired of them pushing us into a corner. We even tired of ourselves and keeping ourselves from healing. We're tired of us killing ourselves. We're tired of us stealing from each other. We're tired of everything that's of negative energy within our confines. And we must become a divine people. We must. We got to change the language. We got to heal. We got to come together, man. I mean, sisters and brothers, we have to. It's this time. It's in our season. We got to develop it. We got to start it, because it's already been started 1,000 of years ago, of thousands of seasons ago. Now it's in our hand in this season. And I demand myself to be part of this, like they say, this awakening. Everybody coming consciousness, third eyes open and all that. Let's put it together. Let's not become this and then be like the religions, Islam, Christianity, and all that, and be separated. We got to come together in power, peace, and love. We got to do that. It's this season. We got to open the door for it. That torch. Can't you see that light? That light right there. Can't you see it? That's how that is our ancestors. They calling on us. That's why the Creator put us in this situation. This situation is by divine decree. It's for you and me to see the reality, to come together, to overcome in this day and time. See, we don't know what we up against yet. Excuse me one second. But to me, there's, in this game of political poker that they playing, they got, I see 3 things that can occur that's in this pot. It's anarchy, police state, or race war, or a 4th option. It can be a democratic society, and not a demonic society, with those concepts of what's been going on. But those are options in the pot that we're dealing with. So let me go into this poem. And this came from there, now I'm going to come here. You are my Medina. For some time I've been feeling orphaned and alone. So alone, then suddenly, out of his grace, his blessed grace, you appeared to comfort me, to caress me, to entice me, to smile, play, forget. Don't you see, man, that you are my Medina? Did you not feel my teardrops and thankfulness on your back, on your chest? Did they not moisten the strands of your beard as you held me close? As you let me know how good it felt to be protected, how good it felt to have my faith restored. Do you not understand how close I was to giving up, to saying to hell with all this? I just don't give a care anymore, to sinking into a forbidden place where perpetual feelings of betrayal, despair, and forlorn trust accompany my guilt, and shame will have me consume my mind and my heart. But my soul held out, and Allah blessed me to see the top of the mountain that I've been climbing for so long, all alone, blessed with faith, Imam. And because of that, Allah used you to pull me up. So don't you see, man, that you are my Medina, my oasis, my place of hijrah? Do you not understand the magnitude of these words? You are my Medina. ever go away. So in that stroke with my words on the canvas of your mind, you can see that this is not originally mine. But like I said, it's my third wife, and the words, they were so deep and they meant so much. But in life, if you don't struggle with your own idiosyncrasies, then you'll fall victim to it. And that's what happened. But in all in all, if you get something from it, then there's a blessing. If you learn from your lesson, then there's a blessing. If you don't learn, then it may be a curse. And I'd like to invite and say Habari Ghani to my great brother and my friend, strong brother. I mean, I love this brother, man. He's a genius, economical genius. He's so strong and intelligent, and he ran me into the ground. I'm talking about my brother, T.P. Thomas Pennedy. I mean, great brother, a young businessman, executive. But for us, about the people, a genuine brother about the people, that Habari Ghani, Ujima, this principle about collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them. That brother is on that. That brother is doing that, practicing these principles, implementing them in his life, and you can see him. To the productivity that he does, how it affects our youth and organizations that deal with our youth. One of the strongest brothers that I know. I'm serious about that. If you see him, you'll say the same thing. He got a workout regimen that's out of this world. And with that, again, I say Habari Ghani, Ujima, to the strong warrior king in my life, my friend forever. This is a reply to what I just read. And like, okay, I got to go into this give it a little more color, right? Because I practice Islam and I've been on Hajj, right? And when like you go on Hajj Akbar, right, you go to Mecca first. And they say Mecca is the hardship because you got to do all your rituals there. And you know, everybody there is all crying, everybody doing something, going around the Kaaba and all that. It's crowded and everybody fighting, one test the black stone and all that. And it's real like chaotic and all that. But when you go to Medina, where Prophet Muhammad established the first Islamic state, man, it's laid back. You can relax and all that. So that's giving you a picture of what she's talking about. And here's my reply to what she said to me. Before I was your Medina, I had to be your Mecca. Let us reflect back to a time before I was on your mind, when we were trying to find each other. I like long lost sister and brother who didn't know one another, but knew something was missing because we were listening to what our hearts had to say. And on one particular day, as I looked into your eyes years ago, I realized it was you who I needed. But I couldn't express that thought without my soul being caught up in turmoil. So my love for you was spoiled, but didn't turn sour, because deep down in my heart I knew we would have our hour. Because that's the power of love that is sent from above. Of a spiritual divine nature can only find physical attraction such as this that will place you in a state of bliss. Now I can have that mystical kiss, because before I was your Medina, I had to be your Mecca. Yes, give me that mystical kiss that I missed for so long. I had to wait because we couldn't date. Yes, it's part of our faith, that the Islamic faith. And you being so stronger to me was the key to our tender love, fitting like a glove, as you render your life to me as my angelic wife. For in Mecca, and before you went through turmoil, struggle, and strife, but you called on Allah and didn't give up on life. Now, as our cup run over with tests, trials, and tribulations, we will, with the help of Allah, be strong as we face the snares, traps of the enemy, Satan. As our bond bring us closer together, we will never grow weak, as we seek each other's strength to combat every foe. Wherever we go, we must know that Allah is always with us, and He is our protector and guide. So nothing can slide between your Medina, because I always was your Mecca and protector in this realm of things to be. Because I see you loving me mystically, because I am your Medina after being your Mecca. And I hope that on your canvas that you can see how it's trying to correspond to what she has said to me. But in life, things are what they are. I want to say salam alaikum to brother Bilal, Omar Bilal. And I want to say Habar Ghani, again, for this principle today, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We're trying to build an institution in our community, not just here in D.C., but across this nation, across this globe, because it's a global problem that's occurring. They're playing political poker with our lives worldwide. And I want to share this with you. Me and this brother, a Korean brother, when I got off work, I was coming home and I seen him at this restaurant. I used to go get some vegetables and stuff. And we was talking and stuff, and he told me he's Korean. And I said, which one are you from, North or South? He said, I'm from North. And if I was from North, I wouldn't even be here, because he said that is this a communistic society there. And he was saying that, man, they got to be in the army, and the president over there controls everything. And I was like, I said this here. I said, and he got his hand on that button. And this brother over here that's getting ready to play poker with our lives, gamble or whatever, he gonna get on the button, have his hand on the button. We got these two guys with the frame of mind that they're in a position to end the world. Ain't that a condition to be in? Isn't that, I mean, and then they addicted to the social narcotics of white supremacy. But that guy in North Korea, he don't care nothing about the power to be. So that was give us this historical dilemma that we in, that's coming from a state of insanity, I would say. But let me see here. I'll go in here. Now, I don't know if I should do these right here, but I don't know. I want to. I think these are repeats. No, I didn't read this one, did I? I don't think I read this one. And the same brother that asked me to read develop the poem about the CMU units, where they incarcerate so-called terrorists and put them in there and just confine them in this unit and don't let them out into a population and all that for years or whatever. And then he also said this, right? He also said when these brothers that's in that environment, right, that when they come out, before they come out to attain their freedom or whatever, the FBI visit them, right, while they're in there, and ask them to work for them as an informer, straight up, just like that. Before they come out, the FBI come in there, and they are labeled as terrorists, right? And a lot of them been like hoodwink or whatever, set up, trap, and all that, and don't even know how they got in there, what the charges was, because most of them young or whatever, or the older guys got tricked or whatever. And so on their way out, after they do some time or whatever, and they getting ready to come out, after doing all that hard time and stuff, the FBI come to them and give them a proposition of a job as an informer. And this is from the words of a brother that came out of there. He said you can go with it or not. He said that he had a lawyer or something that went with him, and he said he didn't want to talk to them. Peace, Brother Salim. Assalamu alaikum. Habari Ghani. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. But that's something also. So now they paying people that they done had as indentured servants in there and took all that time out their life, and they come into freedom. But now they want to make them an agent provocateur to work for the FBI, for the Alphabet Clan. Man, this is the insanity that we're in. They're so high of this social narcotics of white supremacy that it's pathetic. It's it's unholy. It's like it's just it's a deterrent in the growth and development of humanity. Man, we just got to come together and unify, organize, and develop an infrastructure to counter this. This infrastructure is in its place, but it don't benefit us to the fullest extent. Yeah, we got the jobs and this and that, and we get we got the materialistic gain and all that. But what happened to our mind that we don't help our own kind, that we allow everything to go in our community without stepping up and being parents, being not police, but we got to grab our youth by the soul and shake their spirit and say no more, enough is enough. Self-inflicted genocide can't happen no more. We got to change the language. We got to change the mind in order to change. It's a revolution, an evolutionary process that we got to go through. We got to do it in this time. This time where everybody, like it's so-called conscious people or people with so-called third eye opening, but we can't be separated. The Islamic or the Christian or Hebrew and all that, we got to come together and unify. And those that are so caught up on leadership, you can stay in your leadership, but come together, bring the community together, and y'all sit at the table like the Last Supper, but be real and be us, not some illusionary thing or whatever. Come together like the Bloods and the Crips came together, or coming together. All the killing they was doing, they didn't stop that. They came together. They communicated spiritually. In this day and time, in this season, we got to do that all over. All that killing that's going on in our community, we got to stop it. But we stop it by first, we got to deal with the language, what we speak. Because what we speak is coming from within. So we got to change what we speak by changing our mind and our spirit. We got to change this temple purified and come together. And this is this poem is about our sisters. Again, I said the brother asked me to write this also. It's called Ghetto Princess, the heir to the throne. Ghetto Princess, the heir to the throne. Even though it seems it has been overthrown, it seems to be no love in the home, 'cause daddy is always gone and mommy is only halfway grown. So how will you be shown the way, as your examples be dying spiritually every day? 'Cause they rather play the games people play instead of listening to what the elders have to say, from the experience and time spent learning the lessons of life, like husband and wife making one whole as the spirit and soul unfolds. You see, Ghetto Princess, you are the heir to the throne, 'cause there is no love in the home. You are that love. You have to love yourself in order to love anybody else. When you love yourself, other people can only enhance that love, and always respect and honor your mother and father, no matter what. And there's no buts to that. Because the Creator chose them to bring a unique red, black rose into being, my Ghetto Princess. Also, my Ghetto Princess, remember your body is your temple. So keep it clean and purify your mind. It's your connection to the divine. Be conscious of the Creator all the time. Life is about choices and decisions. Understand that you are on a mission of success. So like in a game of chess, make the best ones, so that you will come out like a winner and not a sinner. Like those who chose the fast lane with nothing to gain but a stain of disdain of the pain that their action brings. So my Ghetto Princess, you are the heir to the throne, and you're not alone, and will be shown the way by the light bearers, guides and protectors from the village that surrounds you. You have been blessed to pass this test of this life until you become a wife of a king who is doing the same thing as you are. Ghetto Princess, the heir to the throne, as the queen you are to become. Bless you. Bless you, my sisters. All my young sisters that's doing the right thing. spiritually, physically, academically, through this evolution, through this revolution of the mind. You are the mothers, the leaders, the first teachers. All life comes to you through the yoni, the canal of life, in a matriarchic society. The matriarchic society is the society of harmony and peace. The patriotic society is when chaos and confusion came, and at least it disrupted everything. They plagiarized our story, ransacked our libraries, and through doing all that, they took our story and developed his lies to have a history. But we got to realize that we got to realize who we are as a people, hold our sisters in high esteem, protect them and honor them in all homage. We got to do this yesterday in order to catch up in our development, our spiritual development, our mental development, our economic development. All this happened by applying principles that apply to us. We got to come out of that institution that don't have our best interests. And we've been going through this generation after generation, through all these holidays with misconceptions. Christmas or Christ Mass is really a practice of the Romans, Saturnalia, when during this period of time, they come together with gifts and all that, and all these like sex orgies and all that. Look it up. You got the phone, you got Google. Look up Saturnalia, that word, and what it applies to. It's always a flip side to the coin. Then they say, in a derogatory manner, they attack us again with his lies. They talk about Nimrod, who was one of us, an African king. But they give him a connotation of dealing with incest with his mother. And in that act, it was eclipse. And during that act and the eclipse claim, they started putting presidents under the pine tree. And in their book that they forsook, they say you ain't even supposed to be doing that, dealing with the pine tree. But what kind of tree to be in the houses that us who are still caught up in Christmas, the business aspect? I can understand to a degree Christ Mass, because Christ is nothing but a title of an individual that has been anointed. So if the guy they say Jesus was back there during that time, he was anointed to do righteous acts. But it's a linguistic fact that the J didn't come out until the 15 or 1600s. The J, the letter J. So whoever that was, couldn't have been Jesus at that time. Not saying that that individual or entity wasn't during that time. But we got to really go into our understanding in the divine script that's in us, in the pyramid of our minds, and research, and don't accept everything that his lies has given us, because his story is based on our story that he plagiarized and stole from us. We got to go black to reference the reality. I'll say this for everybody, my Muslim Christian brothers and this and that, everybody, Hebrew and all that. How can we not apply the history that existed, or just the people that existed way before recorded history or religion? Go back 6,000 years, well, 2016 years. This is where all this history or whatever is recorded, or whatever from the so-called, this is based on the life of Jesus or whatever, the beginning of, I'll say prophet to give real respect, or Isa to give respect. But 2016 years, what happened before that? What happened before, like this 2016? What happened about all this time over here? over there, all that time over there? What happened to all the time that in Mexico, the Amaleks, those big heads? What happened to that civilization in the time before that? What happened to the story of the people, the Amazon warriors in California? That's who is named after a sister. What happened to all the facts up on the Colorado River, all the pyramids there from the indigenous and aboriginal people that was here? That was us. What happened to the builders of the pyramids and all that information in time? You talk about isolated instances in the book. Isolated, maybe one during the period of Moses, Joseph, or stuff like that. But it goes back way far beyond that. Scientifically proven by those that looking for themselves. They say they found bones 1,000,000 years old or whatever, pertaining to a matriarchic aspect of our being that comes from us. So if we're going to disregard all that history and it belongs to us, we almost like them, because they can't go back and find themselves. But every time they go back and be a grave digger, they find us. They're looking for themselves. I don't know if they Nephilim. I don't know. I'm searching myself as a student teacher. I'm trying to find out the essence of the beginning of them. And how did this flip around? How did the last become first, and how the first going to be last, and how that happened? If we the original people, if we did all those great things, how did they flip this thing around? I know the agent provocateurs can't be that sound. I know that it's got to be by divine decree. And I don't know. I'm searching. I'm in a search. But I know one thing: our ancestors left a pathway. And as a pathfinder, we got to find that way. And it's a divine way. And it's in us, naturally. So I think, should I go into something else, pertaining to something else? I did thing last night or yesterday about what I did today somewhat. So I'll just go here, because I want to be, no, I go here. And I go a little political since I've been all around. But it's based on us having collective working responsibility, self-determination, and unity. The first three principles that we went through in this Kwanzaa period. We just came out of Christmas or Christmas, whatever you want to say. But like I just said also, get the flip coin to that. It's a couple of, it's almost not two-sided or three-sided. It might be four-sided. We got the Nimrod story, the Saturnalia story. That's the Roman, when Rome was in control. Like, it's based on Rome here, United States of Hypocrisy. It's based on that, and the Constitution that they say that run this thing, this corporation. We can't forget that when it was developed, we was not part of it, even though we had people like in position, like Henson, the first president of the Federation when it was a federation, before it became a nation or whatever. But it wasn't about us. It wasn't for us. The Constitution, when it was written, we was in captivity, so-called slavery. We can't forget that. And the laws are fraudulent. That's why they can change them, amendment, all that. Dig this. The voting rights, our right to vote. That's the law. And I mean, every 4 or 5 years or whatever, however amount of time, they got to re-vote on it to give us voting rights. Don't forget that they had a clause in it that we was 3/5 of a human being. Don't forget that. Don't forget the Dred Scott decision is where they had said that the Europeans we ain't got no rights that the Europeans got to adhere to. Don't forget the black laws, the Jim Crow laws. Don't forget that the concept or the mentality that they have today is they want to go back to where America was great. But they can't go back to where America was great unless they go black to where we made it great in the free labor. See, when we was working in those fields, we had knowledge of that. We had knowledge how to turn that soil and all that to make the crops grow and all that. We had that knowledge, and so they used that, but they forced it upon us, and they took our language away from us, our religion away from us, and all that. But we still here. We here today. All of what we went through, the castration, the mutilation, the lynching, the miseducation, we here. We still here. Through all the tokenism, all the ones who sold their souls out, all the boule and all the talented attempts to be gatekeepers, we still here. But in this era time, we got to come together under one mind, one divine mind. Like the brother Mosiah Garvey say, one purpose, one aim, and one destiny. This right here is our liberation. We got to come together and pledge our allegiance to that in building our infrastructure. Like Malcolm said, it's going to be the ballot or the bullet, right? So we went through the ballot, and we see that the ballot is another charade in this parade of hypocrisy. It came out really where you can really see it, unless you really got your eyes wide shut, that the common vote or the vote doesn't mean anything without the electoral vote. So the popular vote don't mean anything. And so the hypocrisy you can see now. That's why we got to develop an infrastructure. We got to do what we got to do to maintain our status here in America, in this corporation. And it's a corporation, so we got to take care of our business. We got to do that by changing our language, our minds, and our hearts, and come together in love, peace, and understanding, a love for each other. We got to heal. We really got to heal. And I see you, oh my brother. I'm reading also. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I'm gonna check that out. So I'll read another poem, and then I might excuse me. This is water. I didn't get my honey and what's that? Crystals, ginger crystals. But anyway, this is about our good old uncle. This is called Uncle Thomas. You know Uncle Thomas. Not Uncle Sam, but Uncle Thomas. Uncle Thomas. Why like Uncle Ben, Stephen Fletcher, or Mr. Bojangles? Do you have to be stereotyped with all that hype about you coming from the Ivory League? Uncle Thomas, you hold a seat in the highest court in the land. Damn. Why don't you act like a man? You sit there deaf, dumb, and blind like a mute. Or are you in cahoots with the other side? I thought they lied when they said you sold your soul to the devil to be European. But him being who he is, the devil that is, didn't change your skin, but your mind. Can you see you are always in favor of the other humankind? Uncle Thomas, did you make a promise that you can't break as you sat there being a fake? And do you have an opinion even though you are a minion of the devil? Don't forget the fact that you are supposed to be black, African. Sir Uncle Thomas, do you realize how much harm you are doing to us? You can't be in that much debt to the Bushes or any other elite political figure who thinks of you as a nigger, but you still figure you gotta smile and grin and cheese until they are pleased. Can you affirm any of your actions since you've been on the bench? You really are affected by that Willie Lynch syndrome. I'm trying to understand where you stand as a man among men. Because you are alienated from your natural clan, but assimilated into and really not accepted by the European clan. So where do you stand, Uncle Thomas? I know you've seen all the law books like the Jim Crow law, the runaway slave law that was enforced by those who didn't give us a choice in the matter. Oh yeah, you have not forgot the lynching law that went on by lawmakers parading the sheets that could keep things discreet. Uncle Thomas, I heard that you're a conservative Republican. Tom, I mean conservative Republican. That's what you allowed the charade to go on. A non-elected president in the presidential parade. You can't persuade me that the election wasn't paid for and brought by a big corporation and a younger brother. You just sat there mute, or were you in cahoots from the start? The plan was in effect when father was in the chair. That's when they had you swear allegiance and you affirm your actions will be in accord with their desires. Being part of the New World Fraternity or New World Order is your will, but that's like overkill. But for real, be for real. And don't you know your fate is sealed with us and you're just a token that the soul has been broken? Long ago, Uncle Thomas, we promise we won't stand still, and your actions are affirmed by us, African people, of these united snakes of hypocrisy under satanic administrations. We as a people, I keep imploring, we got to come together. One aim, one purpose, and one destiny. It's our season. Of all the thousands of seasons that passed, this season right here is ripe. We got our youth again on the rise. On all levels. We got our youth in the political arena. When I say youth, I mean young adults. Young adults are becoming so political astute and getting in the arena with the heart of warriors, with the mindset of warriors who have our people's best interests at heart, who haven't sold their soul, who are not walking around with their eyes red wide shut, who haven't become Negropeans, emulating your Europeans because they are so indoctrinated and so overwhelmed with being consumers instead of producers, being workers instead of entrepreneurs, businessmen. We got to come together, and as I'm going to keep saying, as long as I'm here on this path for the rest of my journey in this realm, I'm going to continue to say we must unify, organize, and develop an infrastructure. We have to change our thinking. We have to change our language. We have to stop killing each other, stop robbing, stop committing criminal activities against each other. Come together, pool our resources. I know jobs, they don't pay this much or whatever, but if we all get jobs or sell on a legit side, pool our resources, we ain't got to worry about the slave catchers. None of that. It's in a process of developing our communities. We start by developing ourselves in order to develop our communities. We have to do this yesterday because today is at hand in this political climate. We don't know what or where we may be headed. As I said, on the table of this game, the political game that they playing with our lives, with our souls, the pot is either politics as usual, politics as usual, anarchy, police state, or race war. Because the backers at this table, those of the Vatican and the 13 families, the international bankers, Federal Reserve, all these corporate members, they're the backers at the Trump, got the Trump card at the table. and it's a world game. It's a worldwide game, but it started here. And it's going to be in that White House when he sits in that throne, on that throne of the Pontiffs. That's when he going to put all his actions and all his pieces and all his plays. He gonna call. He gonna call in this political game, this political poker game. He gonna raise the stakes and call you. He's gonna call us and see how they're gonna manipulate us. A stimulus, you know how the little mouse in the cage or whatever, animal, monkey, whatever. If you touch it, it shocks him. So we can't wait for this shock to develop. Whatever they plan, we should be in the process of our development, our social development, our economical development. But it starts with self. Change our language. I hear a lot of brothers saying that, man, them youngers doing that because they got to eat. Or we do this because we got to eat. You definitely right, you got to eat, but you ain't got to be a thief to eat. You ain't got to be a murderer to eat. If we come together and under the if we come together under the opposites of coming together in unity, of uplifting one another, of promoting peace and love amongst us, and healing. We got to heal. We gotta talk peace. We gotta live peace. We gotta talk love. We gotta live love. We gotta be in good relationships with our sisters. Now, sisters gotta be in good relationships with our men. We gotta stop arguing and like all this stuff on this YouTube and all this stuff on Facebook, all this fighting and all that. Man, that's nonsense. That immaturity is what you showing that worldwide, so people develop a perspective of you. And have you noticed, it ain't been no killing, so something else in effect. Man, they doing something else. I'm talking about the police, or they ain't showing it or something. I don't know. It was so much of that. But they show us doing stuff to us, so we know what's happening in our communities. We got to stop it. Come together on the principles and institutionalize the principles of Kwanzaa. Institutionalize love and peace and harmony amongst us. Change the language. Change the language. Because what we speak into existence is. That's manifesting a reality. Because it all begins with thought. What we say out of our mouths, it comes into this universe from the innerverse. So if we purify our temple and speak in that excellence, then we can grow as a family in one love, one vision, and one goal to develop as a people, man. We got to, in this day and time, we got to unify, organize, and develop this infrastructure as a people, man. I love my people, man. And I'm living my life. I used to say I'm willing to die for my people and kill for my people. No, I'm willing to live for my people. I'm willing, and I'm going to live for my people, and everything that I can give from my means, which right now is what I'm saying, my poetry, my perception, my insight of what I know, what I've learned, and what I experienced. Because I've been where some of my brothers been. See, I've been like Malcolm been. I've been like a lot of us. I've been there. I've been in the street. I have a PhD in streetology from SWU. So I know what goes on the street. I've been there. And I know it ain't hard though. And it ain't easy. But you gotta make the choice. It's more easier than it is hard to change your life, to change your perception. Have a change of heart and have that ability to be part of this movement, a new movement of young brothers and old brothers and our sisters coming together, man, to establish once again the Wall Streets, like in Smallwood and like in Tulsa, like in Charlotte, where we came together as a community. We pooled our resources, where our money touches our hand more than one time. We got to become entrepreneurs and business people in our community. And we can't be selfish. We can't be egotistical and arrogant. In whatever position of leadership that we're in, we got to be true leaders for us. And don't use that drug, that social narcotics of white supremacy and become a Negro pen or gatekeeper. And be strong in this endeavor. And I say to all our leaders, all of them, come together in your position of leadership. Bring us together. Don't keep us separated. Bring us together in the principles of Kwanzaa, under your guidance, but a unified guidance. Come to the table of divine decree. Come to the table where our ancestors long for us to be. Not have our ancestors go through what they went through in order for us to get here and be stagnated. Stop listening to his lies and develop our story. Because our story is so great that it should motivate you, to uplift you. If you knew that you're a divine being and you teach that to your children, it's going to give them motivation. It's going to instill in them a new pride, a new power to do everything, to conquer everything. If they know that everything they go to the school to learn is only a regurgitation. We already regurgitating what belongs to us. It's already in us, in our DNA. It's already in our temple. All we got to do is reflect and elevate ourselves. You know what? I've been listening to that for the last whatever, and it's on repeat. So I just want to say, let us not repeat generation after generation, year after year, this redundancy of this maniac, this selfishness, this egotistical deception that has been injected into our minds and hearts and souls. Again, it's social narcotics. I gotta push it. Because the village poet, Bama, get to all my minds. One of my mentors, George McCord, along with the last poison, Gil Scott Hearn, has given me this information of being a mystic griot, to convey these words, to paint on the canvas of your mind, to stimulate you, elevate you, to motivate you to become leaders and guides, and first of yourself, purifying yourself, your body, which is your temple, and have the consciousness enough to change your language and your thinking and heal. We got to heal and come together. We got to stop the killing in our community. We got to start loving each other in our community. We got to protect our children. We got to raise up our babies. We got to protect our women on all levels. They kidnapping us for our body parts and melanin. We got to realize that it's 800,000 people missing that they don't say nothing about because they control the media. They put all these guns in our community and we use them on each other. We must become disciplined. We must become disciplined like the FOI of the NOI. And I got to give them credence. Them brothers are disciplined. The Nation of Islam, the Fruit of Islam are very disciplined brothers, man. We need that discipline on the brothers on the corners. And I ain't going to say like other people's do what you do and all that, you know, the selling of the drug and then put it in clean money or whatever. That's a means and all that. But look at all the hurt that you're causing when you do that. Realize that. you might be hurting family members. If it's not family members, it's extended family members. So I ain't gonna promote that. Other people may promote, get dirty money and turn it clean, it's cool and all that. But I say, stop using drugs. Stop selling drugs. That's what I'm promoting. And I've been there. But through growth and development, I'm not there no more. And I ain't gonna say nothing negative about those who do it. Because some of them brothers that I know this on that street corner are very prolific, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and this and that. But we got to learn how to gain our resources, our monetary resources, another way. Pool our resources. If we be like the Latino brothers and some of them African brothers that come over here and live in a house or apartment or whatever and just pool their resources, and one by one they get enough money and move out and all that, we got to do that. But the issue is, see, we was in America, in the factory of America, in this corporation, been processed and then stamped, made in America. We got to come out of that psychic. We got to come out of that social narcotics of white supremacy that was injected in our minds, body, and spirits. We got to come out of that. We got to go back to the essence of principles that relate to us from our ancestors, on the path of our ancestors to right now. That's what we got to do. We got to do that. It's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of survival. We got to do that now. And I apologize for getting all emotional. I'm not an emotional person. I try to be a rational person, a spiritual person. As a spiritual warrior, a mystical warrior, a warrior priest king, a brother that's Mr. Griot, and I'm anointed in the light of Christ, because Christ ain't nothing but a title. And I've been ordained to do this by my ancestors, by divine decree from the Creator, the God, the deity that's in me, that energy that connects me synergically. The vibrations and frequencies of the Lord Supreme is in me. And then I'm going to share this with y'all. Then I'm going to say, again, promoting Kwanzaa. Today, this principle is Ujima, collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. That's communal living. Come together as one, as an extended family. Destroy that other mentality that we got about being thugs and gangsters and all that. The real thugs and gangsters are them people that's dropping bombs on countries and manipulating countries. The Federal Reserve that taxed us, and they ain't even part of the federal government, would not tax us, could tax the way it is taxing us, because there's a lot of information out here that we got to learn, but I ain't going to keep going through that. I'm just going to say this here. I love my brothers and sisters as my family. We got to change our language, one. Change our mind, two, so that our heart can be changed. We got to heal. We got to stop, take that gun out of our hands, killing each other. It's self-inflicted genocide. We got to stop that. They're doing enough of that. They're killing us slowly. They're trying to stop our growth and development. It's depopulation, control, and all that. They're dumbing down our children. Not all of our children are being dumbed down, because we got a lot of intelligent children that's going through the system and getting through the system because they're doing what they're supposed to do, because they're following good examples. Then we got other children that's caught up in not good examples. But that's by design. Everything that's here is by design to try to control your mind. From the television to the movies to the radio, because whatever you put in your mind is going to come out in action, words, or deeds. That's how it is. It's like a computer, your brain. So whatever you put in is going to come out in words, action, and deeds. So let's put principles, strong principles that can guide us to unity. The principles, 7 principles on Guza Saba, the principles of Kwanzaa. Third principle today, Ujima. Principle yesterday, Kukuchakalia. Principle before that, Umoja. We talk about unity, self-determination, collective work, and responsibility. Let's get on our job. It's our job for our elders to show them respect, for our sisters to show them homage, and for our youth, give them guidance. We got to. And with that, I'll say peace, love, and power. Stop taking this drug, this social narcotics that institutionalized racism. It's time for us to reverse this script and write our own story once again on this Black Day of history, because every day is our story. And stop listening to his lies. We are the wise ones. We are the original indigenous and aborigine people of the whole planet Earth. Let's take back our power and spread love, peace, and healing among us. Love y'all and have a blessed day. Tell somebody that you love them, hug them, motivate them, stimulate them, agitate them. Stop walking around with your eyes wide shut and selling your soul. We got to take over this abode. In this political arena and climate, be watchful, observant, and just stay back. Don't get caught up. Don't let the slave catch you doing the wrong things. Let's do the right things. So we don't need them in our community. If we doing the right things, if we controlling our community, we don't need the slave catcher in our community. With that, once again, I say peace, Black power, melanated power, human power, and love from the heart for us all in this day and time and what we up against. Let's control our mind and come out that paradigm of being indoctrinated. We got to tell our story, because his lies is about our story that they plagiarized and stole. I love my people. I love y'all. Assalamu alaikum, brother Bilal, and everybody else that was on this viewing. I say peace, love, and power once again. And with that, have a great day on this Creator Giving Day. This day that we can go out and make a change, make a difference. First, make that change and different in us, in ourselves. Change the language, change the mind, so the heart will be changed. And let's heal together. Amen. Ashe. This principle today, Ujima. Collective work and responsibility. Let's start it. Let's do it. Peace.